tea friends. Hello, hello, hello. I really hope this thing doesn't fall. I don't know why. I feel that it's more precarious today than any other day. Really excited. Finally getting around to the Mississippi green tea. I was really impressed with the Hawaiian green tea. So much so that I can now say that I do prefer the Hawaiian green teas over Chinese or what have you. So the Mississippi black tea was it was good. Part of the reason why I make these videos is so I can kind of go back and just remind myself, kind of a tea journal, right? Of like what's good, why it's good, what I'd like to have again, what I'll skip, you know. And in my memory, the Mississippi black tea was pretty good, but I don't think it like, you know, knocked it out of the park for me or anything. The smell on this green tea is very sweet. Definitely a fruit sweetness, kind of creamy. So I'm excited. This is the cold brew. Again, I don't have my scale with me, so I did my very best at trying to measure out 5 grams. I think I got more than 5 grams in there. But based on the color, though, I don't think it is overbrewed at all. It is very green, so I am expecting to have a bit of umami. And based on the smell of the dry leaf, maybe some sweetness too. Okay, well, not exactly what I was expecting. There is some umami, not as strong as like a Gayakudero, but definitely like a stronger than like a Starbucks, you know, green tea for sure. I really like the umami. It's not bitter, but it is a strong umami. And there is definitely some sweetness. Some more hanging out in the background. Can't really put my finger on exactly what it is. There's also a creaminess too, which is really cool. Like when I take in the brew, I hold it in my mouth for a second. That's when the creaminess hits, right? So it's umami, creaminess, and then sweetness. And the creaminess is right around a kind of a nutty flavor. I mean, it's everything you want in a green tea for sure. No question about it. Let's get this glass warmed up and really see what this dry leaf is all about, because it is very sweet in the bag. And so I'm just expecting to just get a bouquet of aromas in my nose. Also, I do recall, if I'm not mistaken, the black tea was was like this, where you really need some tweezers to handle this tea, because it is very what's the word I'm looking for? It's like interconnected. You know, it's really tied up with each other. I want to use the word stringy, but I don't think that's a good word to use to describe what's going on. But it's I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's just very bunchy, you know. All right. Oh man, yeah. Creamy sweetness. very, very creamy. I mean, my goodness, it's like a creamy dessert I've had before. I want to say almost flan, but no, custard. That's what it is, custard. Yeah, it's cooked custard. Yeah, very, very creamy. More creamy than sweet. I mean, it's definitely sweet, but more creamy than sweet. And I have to try really hard to smell any sort of umami coming off of this. I'll be surprised if this hot brew didn't taste exactly like the cold brew. Wash this just a bit. I don't want to lose too much from the tea. Leaves are already starting to turn green. Very pretty color. And there's the umami. Now that creaminess has turned very much into an umami aroma. But still, like I said, it's sort of nutty, you know. That's definitely what's going on there. Really, really pretty. Really pretty colors. Pretty green. Yeah, really pretty. I mean, really pretty. It really is. It's just, in my mind, it's just the perfect color between like that jade green, but the dark oxidized tea. And I'm hoping that what's going to happen is I'm going to go 15 seconds on this first one, which may not be enough time, but I don't want to risk overbrewing this thing right away. Like I said, the cold brew was pretty strong as far as the umami goes. Really pretty jade green. I'm sure it can get much darker and probably a bit brighter green with longer infusions, but for 15 seconds, that's not bad. There's definitely some plant material in there, lots of little fuzzies. I like seeing that. Yeah, it could definitely go longer, but it's really not bad at 15 seconds. It's really not. It is very much so a light umami creaminess. It's just, you can't get away from it. No sweetness. I think in order to pull out that sweetness, I'll have to lower the temperature on this thing. And so now I'm wondering if I ought to go really hard on the second infusion and then lower the temperature on the third one. But I'm worried that if I do it in that order, that third infusion with less heat will mean that maybe it won't be as powerful as I want it. But I think that's also kind of the test of the tea too, right? I mean, you kind of want it to be strong, at least three brews. Look at the color on those leaves. That is gorgeous. It really is. I'm really liking the color on these. It's beautiful. I mean, it is just perfectly turning that green that you want to see in a green tea. It's really nice. And so I imagine it's just gonna continue to get greener and greener and greener. Yeah, I mean, 15 seconds is not bad at all. I think 15 is doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, I really like that. All right, I'm gonna lower the temperature first, and then I'll go hard on the third infusion, just to make sure it's as strong, because I really want to try to pull out the sweetness that I know is there. And I think that's going to be a lot easier to do on a second infusion versus a third infusion. And I'm going to go 60 seconds on this lower temp. You can see already the leaves definitely getting more and more that bright jade green. I really like that. Really, really pretty. I don't think this tea can be overbrewed. At this point, I don't think it can. But we're gonna find out, because yeah, creamy, umami, but I am getting a bit of sweetness just because of those cooler temps. All right, we're coming up on 60 seconds, and now. I'm surprised the color is still as light as it is for 60 seconds, but it's a lower temperature too, so. Yeah, lots of umami in those leaves now. I'm gonna crank up the temp and really try to overbrew this thing. All right, so there it is. It's still in the background. This is definitely not a very fruit-forward tea, but with the lower temperatures, the umami is still there first, but it's much lighter, and that background sweetness is actually much heavier. I did give some thought to trying the summer flush, because based on the black tea, I was curious whether or not the summer flush would have kind of a spicy chai thing going on. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I am curious. I'd like to know if anyone has tried it, what they think. Based on this green tea first flush, I can't really imagine the summer flush being better. I mean, maybe it can be different, but I can't imagine it being better. and again, if anyone has any experience with those summer flush Mississippi green teas, let me know for sure, because I am curious. Yeah, I think this one for me, I'm going to prefer brewed kind of hard, but that 15 seconds was a nice light green tea. Are we coming up around the third infusion? And so I'm really curious to see what the caffeine content or body sensation is going to be. I did just eat, so it may have something to do with it, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, those leaves are like all the way green now. Really, really pretty color. Really like the color of these leaves. And I'm gonna let this thing just brew for as long as possible, as long as my patience will allow, just to see if we can overbrew this thing. No, it's really, really sweet. I'll tell you right away, this one is gonna be a keeper, for sure. No question about it. I really like it. I can't say right away if I prefer this one over the Hawaiian green tea. I can say that in my memory, it's one of those teas that I remember, you know what I mean? And I probably won't forget for a long time. It really knocks my socks off. So I can't say the same for the Mississippi green tea, though it is really good. It really is. If you want a good green tea, you cannot go wrong with American made teas. Now, I don't know how long that was. I hope it was maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes. I can say conclusively that I do prefer the American green teas to anywhere else so far. That's for sure. Again, I expected the color to be much darker, more vibrant, but didn't happen. So again, I don't think this thing can be overbrewed. Nah, this tea can, I bet you that if I drink this grandpa style, there's gotta be a body sensation. There's gotta be, but you can definitely do it with this. You can definitely do it with this one, no questions asked. There's no overbrewing this thing. I'm gonna let this fourth infusion just sit here. Plenty of water. And just let it hang out. Again, decent amount of plant material, but nothing that gives me any sort of, ick factor. Matter of fact, the little pieces of leaf you can see are like a nice, pretty green. I do have to say though that being that this is the third infusion, it has lost some potency. It's definitely lost some potency. So I don't imagine this one going more than 5 infusions. If I get 6 out of it, then that's really good. I'll say. But yeah, I mean, and it's unfortunate, as far as I'm concerned, that you can't overbrew it, just because in a green tea, I'm kind of looking for that punch, you know what I mean? That power, that strength. But it is very easy drinking, very easy drinking. I think more about this now since I've been introducing my cousin to tea. I still have not told him not to brew the pu'er too long, and I think it's too late. The next time I see him, every time I see him, I don't think about it. You know, I just talked to him, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I just didn't think about it. But he also didn't say anything to me either. So that's interesting. His first time having pool wear. I did warn him that it was very strong because up until now he's only had the aged white teas. So yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna try to remind myself to tell him. Say, hey man, just so you know, you only need to brew that puer for like 15, 30 seconds at the most. But this particular green tea, I am more than comfortable handing this to him and saying, hey, this is a good green tea, and you don't have to even think about how you're brewing it or whatever. Just boil your water, pour it over top, and you're good. I don't think it matters if it sits for a minute or an hour. You know what I mean? And so that's really a great thing, I think. However, I do have to say again that, you know, the potency is just not like super strong. So I don't know how long this one's been sitting, but it is darker. It is darker, definitely more vibrant green. Again, just straight up boiling water. And yeah, it cannot be overbrewed. I'm actually gonna pour this back in and let it sit even longer, just for kicks. From me to you.